Okay, this is a video for tonight, so we can go through bag things. I really hate doing videos. Okay, so what I've done, the idea behind this is when you're out and about, it's really handy to have rope. So I'll get the rope out of my face first. I have some, this is just some cheap paracord that you can get. It's general purpose cord. Really handy. I've used it a couple of times now. So basically I have four lengths that are about 2 meters long, and the cool thing about it is I can join them together and give me an 8 meter piece of rope, which is roughly 8 meters. So all I have to do there is do your good old sheet bend, and that will give me an 8 meter piece of rope. So there's my sheet bend, which you guys all know. Yeah, I don't think you do, but that's all right. And what I've used it previously. It's really handy having it when you're hiking or you're out and about riding a bike, or you even have a stack with your bike, which I've done, and you end up having to get some shelter up. So what I've done is I've had a rain jacket or a bit of cape, and I've tied it to the corner of the of my cape or rain jacket, and then I've strung it up to a tree, and that's actually given me a bit of a kind of tarpaulin setup. And I've done that once, and then I've used it to hang up, bags, keep them out of the dirt. So really handy to have some rope with you. But sticking rope is pretty sucky. Having a rope in your bag. So I've come up with a new idea, which is to actually have it integrated as a handle. And this is a pretty cool idea. It's pretty simple. So what you do is you essentially create a handle for your bag, which is rope, and it's quick release. So I've got a big version of it on my drink bottle. I made a drink bottle holder, aren't I cool? Okay, so I have done this with a reef knot, of course, so it's easy to undo. Yeah, imagine if it was a granny. So the reason why this is a quick release is because you take out this bit of rope here that locks the top in. If I can get it out. And then all you have to do is you pull the other end, and can you see here? Basically, it's loop. This is the central core, and then as I pull it out, it all comes out, and there's my rope back. So that's the idea. It essentially gives you a quick release bag, a bit of rope that you can get to, but it forms a bag handle as well. So it turns this thin, if you look, it's pretty thin and crappy, bag handle. So what I've done here is I've just gone back and forth with one of the bits, and then I've wrapped it around wrapped around another bit of rope to form a bit of a tube. That was just to make it thicker, because you don't really need to do this, but this is a pretty nothing bit of bag handle. All right, so what you do is you put it on there. So, well, actually I'll show you I'll show you here. All right, so I'm going to use 2 bits of my rope, and I'm going to do a figure 8 lashing bend to tie these together. So that's basically you tie a figure 8, and then you go around and follow the figure 8 with your second rope, and you get a figure eight with a figure eight. So essentially it forms a double figure eight with your ends coming out either end, and that will tie it together. So how this works, it's pretty simple. I'll get this in so you can see. So you create a loop, and this is your end that you're going to pull out to take it apart quickly. You line it up on where you're going to have your thing, and then what you do is you go around through, and then you loop it back, and this is your first lock, and there we are. So if you can see there, it's just around, looped, locked in. Now the tricky bit of this is I go underneath, loop around and through. So what I get is that. So I'll see if I can keep this straight for you. I go around the bottom, loop it over, and back down. So can you see what I get? If you look, there's my loop it over, and if I do that all the way up, so I do that on the other side too, what I end up with is this spine running up the middle with these essentially looped, a loop around this side and a loop around that side. And that means that it can pull out, but it also gives you a solid basis for producing your binding on your bag, so that you can essentially, when you pull it, and if I pull through, it just all pops apart and you've got easy access to your rope. Okay, that's it for the binding thing. I'm going to do a second video where I've done a lot of it, because I'm not going to show you all of this because it's pretty boring. And that's it.